Hello, I'm Maureen Robichaud. I'm a teacher counselor here at Next Wave Full Circle, which is an alternative program in Somerville, Massachusetts. So when you came and did a little presentation, it intrigued me, their presentation about texting kids, because that's how kids communicate, how students communicate with one another. So I thought it was just another avenue that I could communicate with the kids. Because kids like it, a lot of kids, I don't know what percentage, but a lot of our kids text all the time with each other. And I was giving out my phone number before even that, so it just seemed natural, like that's the next step to take. My biggest challenge was I would text a kid to wake up in the morning, and that's when I do all my curriculum, you know, making copies and stuff like that. So if he didn't answer the text right away, then I'd have to remember, which sometimes can be an issue, to go back and text him again. So sometimes it was juggling, figuring out, getting into a pattern of texting that one particular student. But it was faster than picking up the phone and calling and him ignoring that phone call, because before I'd call kids and wake them up and they would do the same, just ignore the call. I'd have to remember to call back in 5 minutes. I'd say that was the biggest challenge that I had, just juggling it in the morning, at first. So Google Voice was set up, and I loved it because that we give out homework, and I could send a group text out on Thursday night. Don't forget your homework, it's due tomorrow. Or, you know, if kids were on a trip, you know, 3 kids out of my group were on a trip, remember your permission slip. So it made it easier that I could just send one text out to everybody instead of individually sending out text to each student. So we did come up with a contract that kids and us had to adhere to, such as you couldn't text after, I think we came up with 10 o'clock, you couldn't text after 10. There was a discussion on whether you could text on weekends or not, and we decided that you could text on weekends, but everybody knew this contract, and I have to say 2 things, that kids adhered to that contract. They didn't text you late at night. And the other thing is language. So far I haven't had a student swear or use inappropriate language on the texting back and forth with me. I have not had anybody use inappropriate language, so that was a concern at first, because I thought that you know, I was one of their peers or whatever, but they didn't. That respect was still there even when they were texting me. Here we have a teacher counselor role, so we are close to kids, and but sometimes they can't tell us something face to face even though we're close. And I had a student tell me that she had a sexually transmitted infection, and I said, do you want me to call you so we can talk? And she's like, no, I would rather do it through text, because if I hear your voice I'll probably start crying. So it took that barrier away, and that she was able to talk to me through text and share this information, and then I could share information with her about where to go, what to do, and you know. So that was one. The other one was I had a student tell me that he thought he was depressed, and I don't know if he could have done it face-to-face. I never asked him, but he told me over text using this Oneville that he thought he was depressed and needed to go talk to someone and maybe get on medication. I would recommend it. I think it works for middle school or high school. They were great about it, so they did well with it. The only concern I would have, I would say, I know people are nervous about, you know, kids doing it, you know, 2 o'clock in the morning, or texting you when they're drunk or on something, and I can honestly say I never had that experience. But they adhered to the contract. Just maybe at first the juggling of it. So if someone else was going to do it, I would say I wouldn't take more than like 4 kids, just to get them going and yourself used to it. And then, because at first I think I took on like 10 kids or something, and it was too much. Because I was learning the new software. Software, is that what it is? Program. And I'm not the most tech savvy. But once I got the hang of it, it was very easy to use. So I would say just keep your groups at first small. I use text all the time. That's usually a lot of times how I communicate with people is through text. Family, friends, it's definitely through text. I think this has helped me become more comfortable with texting and with using technology. Because I'm, usually a little nervous about trying new things. But I'm glad I did it. I would continue to do it, and it's just another avenue to connect with kids. I would say try it. It can't hurt. It's another way of communication and doing outreach to the kids. And so many kids have phones and they're texting, and it's just, that's what the kids' lives are right now. So I guess we have to embrace it and whatever means of communication to get to a student, what we should do.